Oh, hello! Welcome back to another summer episode of the Sesh. Moving on from our previous look at the other Montieth Brewers series, the raspberry wheat beer. No, if you can call it that. We've decided to start as it continued and review one that's not beer at all. It's Pear Cider, ginger and Pear Cider to be exact. Give us the rundown, Dave.
Alright. This one, tried recently, it was a surprise. We have here is a pear cider, more traditionally called perry, but the term is not known in New Zealand, so I won't start using it here. We have a label, a punchy pear cider fermented with fresh root ginger. Ripe pear on the nose with a tantalizing palate, spicy ginger and cardamom. With juicy pear up front and a lingering zingy ginger on the tongue. Bottled at 5.5% alcohol per volume in the standard 500ml bottle, as seen throughout the Montieth Brewers series.
Sounds fine. But is it any good?
Yes. Cider has taken off in New Zealand in the last decade or two, from slightly sketchy beginnings to some really quite good product these days. Pear cider, well, less prevalent, but out there. But not something I'm familiar with extensively. So it'll be quite a new experience.
No, cider's definitely taken off.
What is that colour? Or no colour?
Oh, it's, what colour's a pear? It's white.
Pear
It's
juice,
fine.
you don't get a lot of colour there.
Alright.
No, it's fine. I don't think they're advertising skin to contact, so this is not a worry, you know. I'd expect my cider
Yeah, it
to be
does.
nice.
Indeed, that struck me first time. It looks like we've got some Pellegrino or some, some spritzed
it's,
mineral water, but
And it's right, the cider's taken off, which is,
yes.
it makes sense, because we're tripping over fruit here in New Zealand,
Yeah.
being an agricultural country, but
I think the challenge for some of them has been getting the correct fruit, because I think the first New Zealand ciders, apple cider especially, was made with, say, eating apples. The apples we'd actually buy and eat, which is not what you do for cider, as far as I understand.
well, it's a bit flaccid, because cider, if you just make it with your everyday apples, then you get quite a flat product with not a lot of lift. You need to get your acid in from somewhere. So traditionally they would use 3 apples when making a cider. You know, back in the old country, they would have sugar apples, as they call them, they'd have sour apples, and then they'd have bitter apples. And they'd combine all 3 for a more of a balanced, more of a proper drink. We're not quite that sophisticated down here. The fruit over on this end of the country is a bit more bland. I don't know, I blame successful socialist governments, but we'll see. Yeah, this one tastes, I was going to say what it smelled like, but it doesn't smell of,
It's got the ginger.
heck of a lot. It does, it smells like fresh ginger. It actually smells like ginger beer.
With pears.
If someone had said here's ginger beer, I would have said yeah,
Yeah.
because
It has been fermented with
It is
ginger. I
quite
like that
gingery.
it's not just got ginger added after the fact as an accessory or a
but
flavour.
it's a good
fermented in there with it.
fresh kind of a quenching ginger. It's not powdered ginger or artificial or anything like that. It's quite good and fresh.
I think the number of New Zealand brewers are using fruit which is actually intended for fermenting. Yeah, not fruit you couldn't actually eat in its own right as fruit, but it's superb, just perfectly made for this kind of brew. So
Anyway, let's see what's in the glass. You know,
lots of ginger.
it still tastes like ginger beer,
Yep.
just a little bit.
Yep.
I'm still tasting the
Or-
pear though.
There's a
On
little
the back end,
there's a little bit
once
of
the
pear.
ginger
I
washes
wonder if they've just bombed it slightly with a bit too much of that ginger, and the effect I'm getting is of a ginger beer with added pear.
Right. There is that. It's
It's
also
not-
extremely sweet. This is incredibly sweet.
Not to
stuff.
say it's inoffensive. It's actually quite refreshing. It's quite a
little bit
clean
dry.
taste.
Yeah.
It's a
and
surprise.
that-
Yeah, it's a very
That ginger does help to clean it up. But
absolutely clear, completely free of sediment or even any natural colouring.
Yeah, I
But
guess
there's a lot of flavour that comes
I
through.
haven't had a lot of pear cider, so I'm not really qualified to comment too much
No,
on it, but I think
it's,
it's alright.
I
Pear
think-
juice isn't known for its pungent.
no, it doesn't.
quality,
It doesn't have a lot of. I think acid is the real difficulty with pear ciders, because you can find acid apples quite easily. Cox's orange will give you a good, quite an all-round, everyday acidity, and then you can go up to crab apples and stuff like that if you actually want to go down the hole of making a cider yourself. But except for the actual perry varieties, which I'm unsure whether are even grown in New Zealand, your pears are almost uniformly not an acid fruit. They're nice and sort of squashy and sweet and juicy, but they're not sharp tasting.
Is that perhaps the reason why this has such a subtle pear flavour and so little colour? It's
Probably so, yeah.
over-the-counter, off-the-shelf, commercially available pears which are grown in abundance.
So
That's an experimental variety. They may not have had the means to use traditional.
I think it
cidering pears.
actually means they've been quite honest, because they could have added acid in here. They could have put a bit of citric or tartaric acid to tweak it up a wee bit, and I don't think they have, which I applaud.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it is what it is. It's not. I like it more than that sort of raspberry cordial.
Yep.
That came
Well,
previously.
it feels a bit more real than that raspberry
it's
whatever.
not, there's less implications, like that it's beer.
And I was just thinking, what did you say this was? 5.7 alcohol by volume?
Yeah, 5.5.
5.5. That does not taste like alcohol.
No.
It's almost like a natural RTD.
You could just knock that back.
Yeah, it's a bit of a.
It's a bit dangerous
It's
in
a
that
bit
regard.
of like grape tires.
Because 5.5 is not to be scoffed
Tires
at.
going, well, no, you
Not
have
when you
to.
can drink it like that.
Not to be
So-
scoffed either.
No.
Yeah, so I think perfectly good, even better on a hot day.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'd have to give a thumbs up to that. Really,
With a bit of ice in it.
it's
Be
not
quite
an
good.
ambitious drink, but it's a solid one. I'd like to maybe see it with a bit less ginger and maybe a bit more pear character.
I think the
but-
ginger, once you've had the first few mouthfuls and it just tastes kind of ginger, you get used to it and it's a bit more balanced. But yeah, I think a bit of ice in it, get a saucy in there.
Oh yeah,
it'll
no
be
ice,
alright.
because we're allowed to put ice in this because it's not beer, so we can go and mess with it as we want.
Yeah, you don't even need soapstones or anything.
No, we could have a straw.
put some ice in
It'd be
there.
very liberating,
Yep,
actually.
yep, nice.
It just stands out to me
Striking straw.
mainly just because how surprising it is. The intensity of the flavour versus the complete absence of any colour whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's just a nice juxtaposition. It's good to see. And hey, that's something different I've not tried before, so yeah, points for
No,
originality.
I think that's a perfectly good one. And if you're a cider aficionado, then it's probably one to look for. No, good stuff, really.
Try it out, yeah.
So yeah, there you go. Brewer Series. It's a diverse mix.
Reasonably priced, reasonably drinking.
And if successful, it may eventually turn up in the standard 6-pack 330ml bottles, as is
True.
Montieth's want.
Because no, I could have a few more of them
Yeah.
on an appropriately warm day.
They do
Not too
produce
bad.
Montieth's crushed apple cider was one of the original readily available mass-produced New Zealand ciders, and it's still a good drop. It is a tasty cider, in my humble opinion. And they produce a pear cider as well, which I've not tried, but it's out there.
Yeah. Oh well. No, not too bad stuff at all. So there you go. One to look out for if you're a fan of cider or ginger beer, I suppose. But yeah, no, keep an eye out for it. Won't cost you a lot of money. And no, if there's any other beers or ciders that you're curious about, let us know. We'll attempt to have a wee look. But either way, that's been the Sesh. On to the next one.